Hello, and welcome to another epic World Series of Poker final table experience brought to you by Evan Jarvis from Gripst Poker Training, and the World Series of Poker brought to you by none other than GG Poker. Today we have a real treat for you guys. We are following the 2500 six max final table where our players are very skilled, very able, very hungry for a World Series of Poker bracelet, and they are playing for, count them, 356,000 US dollars plus a World Series of Poker bracelet. Today we did get the bracelet on the table on top of the cash. All the goods are there. In your short stack, Nikita Kalinin has 10 blinds. Looks like those 10 blinds may be going in here on the first hand. Ace Queen suited is a very premium hand on a final table. For 10 bigs and under. Don Jang getting the right price. Snap calls. He's got the chips. He can easily afford it. And it is a classic flip to start us off on this here final table. The short stack versus one of the big stacks. Short stack needed an ace, a queen, or an 8. And it is not one of those cards. And we have our first casualty immediately into this final table. But he has taken home a consolation prize of $29,700, which is 12 buy-ins for the event. Remember, this was a $2,500 buy-in event. Off 15 blinds, probably just going to see a min raise here or something similar to that sizing. That's 2.2, 2.3, 2.5. And Patrick Semrau is in an interesting spot here. He's 40 blinds deep. Got a hand that plays reasonably well as suited ace, but he's got to ask how wide she's opening. And she actually decides to just come in for the open shove. I'm not particularly sure why she picked this line. Maybe she thinks that if she raises small off the short stack, people are going to assume she has a hand anyway, since she should be playing rather tight. And therefore, they're not going to move in over the top any wider than they would call a shove. And with the hands that she would like to run it against, the hands that could call a shove, she'd rather just play for all the chips, all 15 blinds, rather than, min raising and risking potentially not getting all the money in. As it stands, nobody is going to be calling. Maybe Patrick would have got involved with the ace 10 suited had she made a smaller raise, but also maybe she didn't want that. Maybe she just wanted to pick up that 20% chip up uncontested, and if someone else has a big hand, let's run the cards. Will we see Chrissy B defend with ace 2 offsuit? He's covered, facing another position open. You got to imagine no, right? And then there she is coming in with the yes. The price is too good. 4-1. Flops top pair and a wheel draw. She's definitely going to be hanging around for at least one street, maybe two. And Ilya coming in with the really small sizing. This is the sizing we're going to see used a lot on these extremely static board where the nuts are very unlikely to change. And that are reasonably dry. When a player has the range advantage from raising early position, or even in mid position, they're facing kind of a big blind defend that's going to be a very wide range. On these boards where the nuts are not going to change very often, we're going to see a lot of this really small sizing, quarter of the pot, fifth of the pot, some really small stuff. Ilya picks up a little bit of showdown value, turning second pair. Kristen picks up a deuce high flush draw to go with her ace. We'll likely see it go check, check. Ilya could also go for another small bet here to charge a pair of fives, a pair of threes. Although, what 5 or 3 is Kristen really going to defend here other than ace 5 or ace 3? So maybe no value in that actually. And on the river, I'm curious if she'll go for like a small blocker bet here for like a quarter of the pot, or if it's just going to go check, check. Does she try to extract some value from a pocket pair below an ace? Or king, queen, this exact hand. Indeed, she does. Ace 2 off, not a fold here. Not for Kristen Bicknell, and she is one of the best in the game. So we see that, yeah, actually, it looks like it is a call. Reason being that she's not going to continue if she hits the deuce, likely. But if she flops an ace, she moves ahead of all the Broadway combinations as well as the pocket pairs. That is a lot of combos. Also, when she has an ace and an ace hits the board, it's very unlikely that her opponent has an ace. As we see a big potential setup here. Ace King for Bellarmino off of all the chips. Kristen on kings, sub 20 bigs. Comes in for the 3-bet. She's effectively reshoving all in. I'm trying to think the reason why she makes it a smaller size than all in here, because it's not like the other situations we saw with Martin Zamani in the other 6 max event or the 1500 event, where he was raising less than all in. So if there was big action, he could potentially fold and ladder up. I think what she's doing here is actually making the odds look more attractive than they are, because it's a little bit harder for Bellarmino to do the math. And he's like, okay, I need to put in 600K more for 986. Oh, but the extra 388 makes it harder for him to do the math, and it makes the price seem a little bit better when she 3-bets to this non-all-in size as opposed to jamming. That's the only logical thing I can think for that. Bellarmino in with ace king, gonna be a 30% underdog. She's using her one time, and that is not the flop you are looking for your one time. A 5 for a chop. The lone king in the deck for the win. Oh, wow. And we do see them chop it up. Kristen Bicknell was 1 card away from being out of here. Just a standard cooler hand, though, really. Ace king for 20 blinds. The money is going in the middle. If he's shorter stacked, there's no way he's calling. But with the chips that he has, I think he can justify the call. He can afford it. It's 7-handed, which means he can use his chips more frequently. So it's a flip. King 10 suited versus 6s. And on that flop, our Brazilian friend, Bellarmino de Souza, looking like a big grande favorito. Take this down. 2 pairs on the river are going to be good for Bellarmino. And our friend Paul Barnes, one of the mystery mans, is going out in 8th place, taking home $40,519. Kristen going to be getting in here with, oh wait, yeah. Well, actually, I mean, a raise and a call. Bellarmino is very loose. Jerome, he shouldn't be flatting too many worse hands than 9s, but we have seen he is a little bit splashy, so maybe she will still be in. I think this is a closer spot than people think. They just see, oh, I've been dealt 9s on 8.5 bigs. Obviously, the money's going in. Well, ask yourself what the ranges look like when the chips are going in ahead of you before making that decision. That's what she's factoring in now. She knows the Brazilian is opening the loosest, and Jerome is flatting a little bit more than he probably should. She's going to use her second one time. Maybe her third. Bellarmino ISOs the shove. This is semi-high risk. I guess it's like an ICM play because Jerome can't really call with Kristen being all in and another short stack there. Like a lot to be risking with deuces though. But I guess once he opens it, he wants to play for it. You're like, Jerome could have some traps here. But then again, with how wide Bellarmino is opening, maybe not. Maybe Jerome should 3-bet most of his big hands. She's using about 7 one-times here. Maybe she's going to use all 9 one-times. Little does she know, she doesn't need a whole lot of help here as an 80% favorite. All right, 80-20, the dream spot in MTTs. Cash games too. I mean, it's just one of the best spots in poker. Saying, please, oh please, oh please let me fade this. He almost got me last time with ace king. I don't want to deal with that again. And we see Jerome would have won big with the ace queen himself. Kristen Bicknell doubles up to 1.7 million. No longer the short stack on the totem pole. Found that hockey was a bit too competitive, so I moved to being the goalie where there was no competition. I could be the one and only. So I was a goalie for about 10 years. But I thought that I would do much better just in the booth, calling the play. And now we get to do that with poker, which is kind of a dream come true, especially doing it for the World Series of Poker. It doesn't get any better than that. Chrissy B flopping top pair after raising ace 4. No piece of this for Simon Higgins. We may see a very small bet here, about 1/3 of the pot or 1/4 of the pot, just to charge, you know, the weaker random flush draws and stuff. Maybe fold out stuff like this, but have the best chance of making it to showdown. And Simon Higgins decides he's going to turn this one into a bluff. The blind gambit has no equity when called. Puts the decision back on Kristen. 4-1 odds. Top pair. He's going to get sticky here. I feel like it's pretty tough for Simon to follow through here. But he is going to do it. Going to go for a check raise, turn barrel, and if necessary, maybe fire river barrel. He's setting it up for a half pot bet on the river. Brings a 4th club. A great bluff card, but he's not going to take it. I'm trying to think of the hands Chrissy could try to bluff out. Like, no, ace king would have 3-bet pre-flop, ace threes. Not bluffing that out. Push some worse ace off chop. Probably not. Question is, can she fold out some random club? Like if Simon has like 4-5 of clubs, 6-8 of clubs, something that flopped a flush and was playing it that way. Maybe she thinks she could bluff him off those hands if she goes for a bet here. She does have an ace, which blocks the full house. And with the 4th club coming, you're not really loving your situation if you have a small flush here. So she could easily check and just win this pot. But since she cannot see the cards, I think there is some strong consideration for bluffing here that she passes on. But you never know how sticky Simon's going to be. So huge pot there for Kristen. Not sure why Simon opted to go for it there. This is not really the player you really want to be making a play on. And that's going to vault Kristen up to 4th place. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's why we're saving all these replays on YouTube so you guys and girls can watch them as many times as you want. We are going to have a ton of content by the end of this month. Probably about 20 final tables of fresh reviews with starring some of the best in the world like Chrissy B right here. Top pair for Chrissy after defending. Queen 10 suited. Gut shot and an over for Bellarmino. Comes through with the continuation bet. I think we'll just see Chrissy go with the check call here. Not a lot of incentive to check raise, being out of position. And lucky catch for Bellarmino on the river. We may see like a small blocker bet here from Chrissy. Or we may just see a check to check call depending on sizing. I don't really know what size she's folding to. I think against most bet sizes, we'll see a call. But we have seen some very heroic folds, correct heroic folds on these final tables from these high stakes regulars who just suss out the situation, just realize their hand is no good, even when there are very few hands that beat them. So if anyone can make the call here, it's Chrissy B. But the price is fairly attractive at 2.5 to 1, and there aren't too many cans that beat her. Unlucky run out there. And Dong Jang saying, yo, I had it. I'm loving Don Jang's thing, man. Just so enjoying the fun of the game. Really enjoying the joy of, poker. And you love to see it. I think we'll see some action here. Patrick picking up ace-5 BVB, 10 bigs. It's going to be good to get in. Drawing Cup says GG's baller. I completely agree. Ilya making the call with king 9. Decides it's good enough, wants to take out this short stack. He can easily afford it. We know that Patrick is not shoving super wide, but he's still going to show up with the queen jack suited, the jack 10 suited, the small pairs, plenty of hands against which Ilya is flipping or a favorite. And what a great run out for him, man. Top pair on the flop, second pair on the turn. All he's got to do is fade a 4 on the river. That's a face card giving him kings full. Ilya deals the death blow to Patrick Semrau, who's going to be finishing 7th place, taking home $55,279. Bellarmino going to do the big stack thing. Says, you know what? Nah, this one's all right. Couple of reshove stacks. No thanks. Not going to get involved. Jerome limps in, looking to see a cheap flop. Kristen with a pretty dusty hand here. You going to turn it into a bluff for 300K, or does she just say, let's see 3? I mean, it's a really dusty hand. Really just benefits from taking it down pre-flop. It's not a hand that's going to flop very well. And so for that reason, she turns it into a bluff here. Jerome limp calls the suited queen. Flop second pair. That's a good enough hand to call for at least one. Maybe given how shallow they are, it's good enough to hold on all the way. We'll see what comes of this run out. Ace and diamond do favor Chrissy here. Got some room to maybe fire like a 300K bet. Not going to take it, but is going to take the best hand to the river with a pair of 10s. And not a ton of reason for Jerome to bluff, but we see he just kind of bets when it's checked back. He may fold out an ace, may fold out a jack, probably fold out a 10. When in doubt, bet a third of the pot. It may work out. This would be incredible if Chrissy finds a call here. I kind of don't see how she can. He'd specifically have to have one of these hands he's turning into a bluff. 6x, 4x, or an open ender that's not suited in diamonds. Gotta think most of his continuing range either has a jack, an ace x, although ace is probably moving pre-flop, so we can discount those from the range. A jack or diamonds. But we'll see. We will see what happens in this spot. Chrissy just bosses it. Thinks completely outside the box. We're talking about, oh, can you find the hero call here? Nah, saying, what hand is he gonna show me here? What hand's he gonna show me? Show me the good. This is what separates the great from the best in the world, is finding these spots where your opponent is gonna have kind of that weird mergy range that's like light value, kind of bluffy, but not super nutted. It's not like the best possible hands. And just saying, well, I don't think you have the best possible hands here, which means you're gonna have a hard time calling. So she uses her position of having much stronger hands in a range than Jerome has and just puts them all in. This is an incredible play from Chrissy B. There is no way Jerome is going to find the call here. And Chrissy takes it down with the best hand, but she didn't know she had the best hand, and she could have easily not had the best hand, and she would have got many better hands to fold with that play. Incredible stuff from Kristen Bicknell. That's why I told you guys at the start of this final table, she is definitely the one to watch. Bellarmino in with Queen Jack. Jerome is going to be all in for 6 bigs with 5s. It's going to be an easy call. They're going to run the cards here. We got 50-50 situation. Can he win another coin flip against Bellarmino? It doesn't look like it. It looks like this may be the end for Jerome Fink. He mixed it up. He splashed around. And in the end, he got smoked. Another 1.5 million going to Bellarmino. Our chip leader remains our chip leader. Still chip leading wire to wire this final table. And not to mention this gold bracelet. It's right here by Chrissy B. She's thinking she could just reach out and grab it. We're going to see if she can make that happen. This flop will certainly help. Quad Kings. Kristen Bicknell. That I'm taking a flop against this maniac who's opening 100% on the button. I'm not just going to reshove all in because sometimes he's going to wake up with the hand, but I am taking a flop. And if it's an above average one, such as this one, I'm not going anywhere. Chrissy B ready with the call down. 100%. Oh, very unlucky river for Bellarmino. I'm interested what size she goes with here. Like, does she go with the small size that ace high can consider calling? Or does she go with the size that targets... I mean, it's hard for her to target a 10 because she has a 10. So I feel like maybe the smaller sizing is what we'll see here. You know, give Bellarmino a chance to maybe even hero call with queen high. Yes, that. She goes for a little bit over half with this particularly on Bellarmino. Certainly continuing just for a call. No sense in raising there. Chrissy B picks up another 1.9 million. She's sitting on 3 million in chips now. That's going to put her in third. It's one of the first times she has been away from the bottom of the field, and this is going to make for a very dangerous spot for the other players in the tournament. Anyway, Simon Hughes picking up 10s on 10 blinds. That's going in. Chrissy B, ace king suited. Definitely going to be isolating this shove here. It is for about 40% of her chips, but she does have an incredible hand. Going to be crushing a lot of the hands Simon's moving in with. Ace queen offsuit, ace jack offsuit, king queen offsuit. As it stands, it's a flip, and not much of a flip anymore. She's using her 13th one time and her 14th one time. And the ace high flush, gonna get it done. Quick on the good game, man. Internet professional. Think here, Chrissy B's gonna open the button. Don Jang has a shoving hand. 18 bigs. Does Chrissy B call an 18 big blind reshove with ace jack here for half of her chips? I don't know. I really do not know. Ace king versus ace jack. I mean, man, Don Jang has not done a light reshove here, so we should have a pretty strong range here. By the way, Felipe, shout out to, once again, the Brazilians absolutely crushing this final table. I think she probably will find the folds for a significant amount of her chips. Here's the other thing. She folds, she's still in second place. She calls and wins, okay, she's in second place by a bit more. But she calls and loses, she is the short stack by a significant margin, and four-handed, those blinds come around very quickly. And it's going to be a very high pressure situation for her having 15 blinds. for doing great work. She's calling for the one time and says, let's run it. Chrissy B's calling. She's using her 17th one time. She used one at the start. She's now used 17 of them. And she is really good at timing things with the emojis. That's a queen on the river by the looks of it. And we have our 4th place finisher, our 4th place elimination. $140,000 going to Don Jang. Played a solid final table. See Bellarmino continuing to apply the pressure. He's been going after a lot of pots. Now he's continuing to do so, having the chip lead. The one thing is, now that we are down to the final 3 players, there's a little bit less ICM pressure than there was before. So his steals may not be as effective as they were earlier when we had some very short stacks in play and, you know, we were farther away from the big pay jumps. So he may find himself getting in some trouble here if he continues to go with this really wide range versus Chrissy B, who is just, you know, a world-class player. Over 5 million in live winnings, plus a whole lot of online winnings as well. Former Supernova Elite, just an absolute crusher. I think she was a female player of the year back-to-back years, maybe back-to-back-to-back. Many years. Kristen turns 2 pair here. You can bet for value against, you know, pair and gut shot type hands. Queen 10, King Jack, the ace, many hands there. A lot of hands that she can get value from here with a bet. And that's what she's going to do. But I do not think Bellarmino de Souza is going to call here or continue. He's shown a very disciplined approach to this tournament so far. We have seen him open a lot of pots, but it's in very good spots. And here is a hand where I think some chips are going to be changing. Chrissy B, pocket queens on the button. 60 bigs. Both her opponents have 40 blinds. Ilya definitely going to play this hand. Definitely going to VPip. I guess on this stack depth, maybe calling makes more sense than 3-betting. But Bellarmino with pocket jacks here on his stack depth of 40. It's a pretty perfect squeeze spot. I think we'll see him take it upstairs here. And he's been going for proper sizings. I expected a 5x here with the raise and call, and that's 1.5 million. He's kind of thinking, if I'm already going to put in a quarter of my chips, I might as well put them all in. So he's all in, and we know that Chrissy B is going to be calling here. She's using her, I think that's the 16th one time that she's using. She'll probably use a few more. There's her 17th one time, 18th one time, 19th one time. She's got to fade a diamond or a jack here. A lot of cards that can do it for Bellarmino. That looks like a diamond to me. That looks like a diamond to me. And after getting 3-outed for all the chips, Bellarmino 2 outs for even more of the chips. Always think about that top spot. Unless you're in some crazy ICM situation where laddering is the way to get the most value from your tournament. But as a default, thinking about the top spot is going to get you farther than thinking about any other spot. And y'all got the right approach. Love it. So we see Kristen flopping trips here. Once again, a nice board for her. Could go either way with the hand. Check call or check raise. If she check raises, she gets value from an 8. All the draws. Check raises to a small size. She may even get overcards to float here. And that's exactly what she does, taking it up to 697,000. Don't know if Ilya is going to call as wide as ace high. But in fact, he isn't. If he's calling that, that means he's continuing with tons of just overcard hands that are drawing basically dead. So great identification there of the spot by Chrissy, as it's a great chance to build the pot. It's a spot where it's going to look like she has a lot of bluffing hands, a lot of gutters, open-enders, things like that. And Ilya's ahead of those hands with ace high. Turns the nut flush draw, gonna call again. And now what does Chrissy B do on the river? Both draws got there. 9-10 got there. Hearts got there. Can't get a lot of value from an 8 at this point. An 8 would probably fold to a 3rd barrel. I'm very curious to see what sizing she chooses, as it really is not the best run out for her hand. Still gonna have the best hand, a decent clip, but not if she bets the river and gets called. So let's see what happens. He can afford it. He's got the chips. It's a chance to make $70,000. And he needs an ace or a 4 to do so. Still needs an ace or a 4, a 7, a 5, or a 6. We'll all give him the winner. We got a 7. It is. That is a flip picked up. Okay, Felipe, so you agree? Anyway, we are now heads up, so congratulations to Ilya Anatsky. You played a really great final table. I was extremely impressed with Ilya's play. $191,000 for the effort, about 80 buy-ins. Pretty solid. Yeah, I think for that many chips that you can fold even bigger aces there. Maybe call it like ace-jack, ace-10, because 17 blinds is a pretty big shove. But if you assess that your opponent only shoves pairs, then you can justify calling with, and you still need like a decent ace. I think, yeah, that was kind of loose. Anyway, he won the flip. He's heads up. He's got a shot at the win here. Let's see if he can close it out and get the second bracelet of the series for Brazil. Yeah, 892 entrants in this tournament. Pretty big turn here. Bellarmino turns a gut shot to go with his flush draw. Little does he know that his gut shot is no good. Chrissy B, pocket jacks, very draw heavy board at this point. Does she just go for the check shove at this point with, you know, 8s, 6s, hearts, spades, a lot of action cards that could potentially come here. She just goes with the check call. I'm always very impressed by the professionals. Like, the board's draw heavy, whatever, man. Check call. Check call. Got to keep that bluffing range in there. If you check raise all in, they can't bluff anymore. So just check and call and give them the rope to keep going. Bellarmino with king high. Hard to not go for a bluff here. Everything missed. Your opponent has just called down on a very draw heavy board where it's easy to think they may want to protect against the draws. And making it to the river with king high, your bluff has great value if your opponent folds any pair. 9, 5, 7. 7, 8 could have been in there. King, queen, king, jack, queen, jack, ace highs. A lot of hands that you benefit from bluffing out here. So fair to go for it. Chrissy B, pair of jacks. Don't imagine she's going to fold an overpair here when the flush draws and the straight draws miss, but she's going to take her time. She's going to think about it. We're looking for the missed spades, man. The hearts, the backdoor hearts did get there, but the missed spades did not. She finds the call. It's good. Picks up a 12.9 million chip pot. She is now the chip leader once again. 12.9 million for Chrissy B versus 9.3 million for Bellarmino de Souza. Bellarmino has no free flops. Raising it up with the hammer. I understand the attacking of the limp. That's a little bit loose though. If you're doing 7 deuce, I think you're basically doing 100% of the deck. And they both turn a spade draw. Bellarmino's 7 high, Chrissy's ace high. Tonino says, we want to see you Evan and FT. You have a lot of support here. Thank you very much, Tonino. We'll be going for it tomorrow. We'll be going for it on Sunday. And yeah, we'll be there, man. We have all summer to make it happen. Chrissy B, Rivers, the flush. Going for value. I mean, based on how we've seen Bellarmino play, I think he's likely to find the hero here with the 7 of spades. And you play your 7 deuce. Does make the call. Chrissy B picks it up. Up to 15 million now. 2-1 chip advantage. And we see Bellarmino. I almost feel like this is the Brazil special, man. We saw in our second final table the Brazilian boss picking the 7-4 offsuit as the 3-bet hand. And now we see Bellarmino doing it as well. Not sure what it is, the properties of this hand, why they've chosen this one. But that's the second time we've seen it over a few final tables. It's specifically 7-4 offsuit. All right, Chrissy B flops, top pair. Great spot for her. This is going to be a call. And a call. A call. Bellarmino thinking... wondering about that 3-bet now. Looks like the timing wasn't the best. Chrissy B's got the goods. Does she check back? She does. Gives her opponent a chance to overvalue a king or a jack or a worse ace on the river, should they have that. I think we'll see her go for a small value bet here. Something very small that a king could call. 1.2, 1.5 million. Maybe 2 if we're going on the high side. She wanted to fold out a chop. She could go for the maximum size. We'll see which of the options she picks. I'm glad I hit the go live button tonight. Chrissy checks behind. Besides, there's no value going for it against the king. Queen 10 did get there too. And she is now a 3-1 favorite. Evan B was an online Battleship player. Cool, cool, cool. GG's great. Anyway, Chrissy B flopping second pair. Bellarmino flopping top pair. Got a bet and a check raise. Bellarmino, top pair. Chrissy, 2.5 to 1. Gonna make the call, and that is one of the reasons why sometimes she has the best hand against ace 4, ace 3. Instead, she's got those times where she can improve as well. That's gonna give her 3 of a kind. And with the stacked pot ratio being just 2 to 1, I don't think Bellarmino is getting away from this hand. I think it's going bet call on the turn, shove, call at the river. And Chrissy B could be one call away from her 3rd World Series of Poker bracelet and a $356,000 payday. The money's going in. She's hitting the snap call. She's got the best hand. And Chrissy B, shipping an 11.4 million chip pot, came into the final table as one of the short stacks, managed to build her stack up steadily, picked her spots very well, ran some masterful bluffs, some river raise bluffs, got unlucky, not once, but twice. Got lucky once, maybe twice. Some really good boards for her. But just an incredible, incredible performance by Chrissy B. That's going to be a GG. She's taking home $356,411.68 and a coveted golden World Series of Poker bracelet. Congratulations to Chrissy B on a great final table. And big shout out to Bellarmino D'Souza, who, didn't have a ton of scores coming in this final table, but he did have a ton of chips, and he made very good use of them, finishing second place for $261,248.54. Great performance by him, a great payday, a lot to be happy about, a lot to be excited about. And if you're calling it a night, all good. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and until next time, you know what to do. That's take what you've learned, go out there, and get stacking. Peace, y'all.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it educational and entertaining. If you want to join Team Grips, click on that subscribe button and tap that bell to be notified every time a new video goes live. For behind the scenes updates and motivational quotes from my poker journey, follow me on Instagram. And when you're ready to take one step closer to becoming poker's next champion, click on me in 3, 2, 1, and let's get stacking.